NCO a little bit slowly into his stride, but Blazing Touch on the outside as the sun shines on air, and it's now Blazing Touch going on from Michelozzo, and pushed up on the inside is the pacemaker Ski Surf. But it's Blazing Touch who's cutting out the running. Ski Surf on the inside is second. Alpha Bell and Michelozzo plays third and fourth. Sapience on the outside of Rosier Turn, followed down by NCO and Terrium on the back marker as they pass the winning post with a circuit to go. And Ski Surf has command by 3 parts of a length to Blazing Touch. They're 6 clear of Alpha Bell and Michelozzo, and Rosier Turn on the inside of Sapience. NCO is wide, and Terrium tucked in behind them, trailing the field as they make their first left-handed turn. And it's Ski Surf leading from, in second place, Blazing Touch, and they begin to swing left-handed into the back straight. They're 8 clear now of Alpha Bell, who's moving well in third. Then Sapience and Michelozzo and Rosier Turn bunched across the track, followed by Terrible and NCO. They turn into the back straight, just under a mile and a quarter to race now. And it's Ski Surf clear by 3 over Blazing Touch, clear by 6 to Alpha Bell, by a length to Sapience on the inside of Michelozzo, and then comes Rosier Turn and NCO, and the back marker is Terrimon. So let's check the SPs, the odds of reward as they get halfway in the 213th St. Ledger. The favourite is Michelozzo at 6 to 4, Rosier Turn at 5 to 2, Terrimon at 7 to 2, and 12 to 1 bar those. And it's the pacemaker, Ski Surf, going on by clear by 3 over Blazing Touch in second. The gap then is only 3 lengths. Alpha Bell powering and pulling the majority of the pack through, with Rosier Turn getting a good run through on the inside. Michelozzo is wide of her, but between those two races Sapience keeping contention on that one. The back marker still Ceremon, with NCO on the outside of him, and it's Ski Surf setting sail for home, doing a good job of pacemaking. Over 6 furlongs to go in the St. Ledger. Ski Surf has it clear by 3 over Blazing Touch. The gap is then 4 to Alpha Bell, and then 3 line across the track of Michelozzo, Rosier Turn and Sapience, back to NCO and Terrimon as they begin the sweep out of the back stretch, and Ski Surf still has it to Blazing Touch in second, a gap of 4 lengths to Alpha Bell, then Sapience and Michelozzo and Rosier Turn and NCO just making a bit of ground on the outside of Terrimon, and they're going to have to motor now. A half a mile left to race in the St. Ledger, and the pacemaker Ski Surf has it as Blazing Touch drops right away. Alpha Bell is pulled wide, Sapience coming with a run, Michelozzo is on the wide outside of the group. And the pacemaker wisely now drops away, but keeping his position next to the rails as the race opens up down the centre of the track. And it's Rosier Turn and Alpha Bell and Michelozzo, and Sapience is travelling well, but it's Michelozzo now who's given the office, and with 2 furlongs to go in the white cap, Michelozzo, Sapience. Terrimon is closing behind these, making ground is Rosier Turn, a furlong and a half to go, and Michelozzo goes 2 clear now of Sapience and Rosier Turn, and Terrimon under half pressure coming inside the final furlong, and Michelozzo looks to have taken the race. He has done. He's going 4-5 clear, a big race for the places, but it's Michelozzo who storms clear to win the 213th St. Ledger easily at the line. Michelozzo has it. Sapience a personal best for second, Rosier Turn third, Terrimon finished 4 but beat Blazing Touch and NCO, and Alpha Bell dropped right away, and Ski Surf was last of all. And so the best backed horse in the race on the day has won, the Charles St. George owned number 3 Michelozzo, the 6 to 4 favourite, trained at Newmarket by Henry Cecil, who was confident about this horse's success, and ridden by Steve Cauthen. So second is number 5 Sapience, third horse home is number 8 Rosier Turn. And so Michelozzo coming home here and coming clear of the pack. Steve Cauthen looks over his right, then over his left shoulder, and this son of Northern Baby has landed it. He's done it. Another classic success for the Cauthen and Cecil combination.
Turning for home as Ski Surf drops away, but what a fine race the other pacemaker or front runner Blazing Touch has run, and the protagonists in line. But it's Michelozzo, and John, although he's gone away to win most impressively, he was going no better than the others at this stage.
Now, as they turned round into the bend, Steve Cauthen, you can see they're just beginning to pick him up, and they looked half a dozen. I must admit, at this stage, I thought that Terrimon was going particularly well there, just behind with Mark Birch. But the further they go, this son of Northern Baby, Michelozzo, well, Steve's already given him a crack round the backside. He obviously didn't think that he was going all that well at that stage, because it's unusual for Steve certainly to be getting after one that far out. But the further he's gone, the easier he's been going, and the further he's been putting between himself and the horses following. Sapience has run a blinder, it's got to be said, that in second place is far and away any better than anything he's shown previously, but really there was only one winner, and well, he must have won just about as far as Mr. St. George's last Ledger winner, Bruni, did.
Michelozzo has landed an almighty gamble, 9-4 this morning, down here on the course from 7-4, returned the 6-4 favourite, a classic steamer, the 32nd favourite to win this century, and the 5th in the last 8 years. The second, Sapience, went off at 15-1, a popular each-way horse, the Ebor winner. And the third, Rosiat Turn, was returned at 5-2. And those rumours about Terriman that swept the course, there must have been something in them. He never showed in the race, 4th at 7-2. But that Michelozzo follows recent favourites like Reference Point and Oh So Sharp odds on. Also, of course, for Cecil and Cauthen. Before that, Comanche run in 84 and a year earlier, that Sun Princess. It's Henry Cecil's 4th St. Ledger, Steve Cauthen's 3rd. And it's a tremendous result for the punters. 6-4 favourite, the classic steamer.
And Christine St. George leads Steve Cauthen and Michelozzo, flanked by those two wonderful greys, into the unsaddling enclosure. I'm sure they'll get a great Scottish cheer.
The official time for the first race, 3 minutes, 20.72 seconds. 3 minutes, 20.72 seconds.
Well, lovely scenes there, John, but we'd just like to say that Jill Richardson, Charles St. George's racing secretary, who planned to be here, there's Henry Cecil, the trainer, but unfortunately couldn't be. We hope she's watching at home, and Jill, you haven't been too well lately. Hope you soon pick up, and sorry you missed today.
It certainly would have put her in good form, and it's certainly going to hot up the title for the trainers race at the end of the season. This first prize, just what Henry was looking for. He likes nothing better than to be champion trainer. Got a lot of good prizes to come, certainly put him a lot closer up the top there now. And to win the Ledger with the horse having its first run, certainly a good effort.
And a fine effort. Steve Cauthen obviously delighted, but a fine effort also by Kieran Fallon, Jimmy Fitzgerald and Sapience, fully vindicating Jimmy's faith in his horse. But he's quite a bonny colt, this. He's a bit lightly made, John, but he's got a presence about him, hasn't he?
Certainly, and he's got his heart in the right place as well. The further he goes, the better he is. And it'll be interesting to see what he actually goes for now. Well, that was a 1.6 miles today, certainly on soft ground, and the way he won in the closing stages. And you'd say if they've gone a good strong gallop, that maybe he'd be capable of winning over just slightly shorter distance.
Well, this is a pretty well-bred horse. He cost $180,000 as a yearling. He's by Northern Baby. And Northern Baby, who was in fact, although he ran well at 1.5 miles in top-class events, possibly gave his best performance when winning the Champion Stakes. The dam, as I told you earlier, Très Agréable, is out of a very good French mare called Assez Cuite, and Très Agréable is a half-sister to Henry Cecil's French St. Ledger winner of 2 or 3 years ago called Assez Cuite. Sorry, I beg your pardon, called El Cuite. So he was favourite, as John McCurrick told you. He landed a gamble. Let's confirm his SP.
First, number 3, Michelozzo, the 6-4 favourite. Second, number 5, Sapience at 15-1. And third, number 8, Rosiat Turn, returned at 5-2. The take returns win £2.70. Places 120, 210 and 120 again. The dual forecast came to £24.30 and 8 rand.
This is the winning trainer, Henry Cecil. What do you think of this St. Ledger being run a day? I mean, this time last week, you weren't running. The horse had a bad foot. Tell us what happened.
Well, he pricked his foot. He spread his plate coming up in the box and put 2 nails through it, and then he abscessed. So if it had been lost that day, he couldn't have run.
He couldn't have run. It's strange the way fate takes a hand in this.
Well, it's just luck, isn't it?
I don't think it's luck. He
luck,
ran it
but-
very, very impressively.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he never looked like he was going that well till you really asked him, did he?
Yeah, yeah.
But it was lovely.
Let's have a look at the replay, because coming
I'd love
down
to, yeah.
towards the 3 furlong marker, Steve produced him with a super run, and
I can only see myself. I can't see
you
the
can
replay
only
at
see
all.
yourself. Not a bad-looking fella. 4th time you've won the St. Ledger. Here he is. Yep, coming on this side. And at this stage, you've got them well and truly beat.
Yeah.
He seems to bounce off the ground. I mean, the ground is quite
and
soft up there.
Yeah, he's rather immature, and he's sort of improving the whole time. And it's in his 4th race in his life, isn't it?
It is.
He's obviously a very nice horse.
How would you rate him amongst your other St. Leger winners?
Well, I didn't like rating them. They've all been good friends. You can't really sort of... you don't like doing that, do you?
No.
No, I think you sort of... he's very good today, and they were very good in their day.
Yeah. Now, I've got to ask you, the way he won so well there is a possibility that he might go for the Arc de Triomphe. I mean, the bookmakers around here are saying if this horse goes for the Arc, he could start favourite.
Really?
What is the news?
He could start favourite. I think it'll be rubbish, yeah.
Well...
I don't even have to ask Mr. St. George. He's got to pay the supplementary fee. It's quite expensive, isn't it?
It is, £30,000.
Well, that's up to him, really.
Well, he just won 170.
That or probably the Jockey Club at Newmarket or something like that.
Exactly.
Ask
Henry,
him. Ask him.
I will indeed. Many, many congratulations. Superb training feat. Well done.
Thank you very much.
That's the news and the winners encode. Welcome back to air time now for the presentation of the St. Leger prizes. Let's join Jeff Webster.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Western Meeting Club is honoured to have been asked by the Jockey Club to stage the 213th running of the world's oldest classic, the St. Leger, following the unfortunate problems at Doncaster a week ago. This is the first time a classic has been run in Scotland, and we're delighted by the great response Scottish racecourse have shown, turning up in their thousands of here this afternoon for what is an historic occasion. We'd also like to thank the management, officials and staff of Doncaster Racecourse for all their cooperation during this past week. The chairman of Doncaster Racecourse, Councillor Ron Gillis, will now present the St. Leger trophy to the winning owner of Michelozzo, Mr. Charles St. George. Many congratulations.
Charles St. George on the right, receiving the St. Leger trophy for the second time. Won it with the Grey Bruni in the 70s. Good to see Ron Gillies, who's travelled all the way from Doncaster. In fact, many of the workers at Doncaster Racecourse are here today, and how sad it was for them that they couldn't hold it at Doncaster, the traditional place. But what a marvellous boost for Scotland.
The chairman of the Western Meeting Club unit here, Colonel David Gregg, will now make the presentation to the winning trainer. That goes to Henry Cecil. Many congratulations.
Henry Cecil comes forward. This brilliant trainer, unassuming young man. David Gregg, the racecourse chairman, on the left, a great supporter, and welcomes everybody when they come here racing.
We'll now round off the presentations by giving the world-famous St. Leger winning jockey's cap to this year's successful rider, Steve Cauthen. Well done, Steve.
Gets the biggest cheer of the whole day, and this is the famous jockey's cap, the historic cap that all the great jockeys, winners of the St. Leger, have worn, and shortly, I would think, Steve is going to have to put it on.
Here are the 50 turns to the 1 pound unit. For the fourth race,
it's a third St. Leger victory for the very, very likeable American who's made his home here in Britain. Now he's got a ride in the next, so we're just going to try and get a quick word with Steve Cauthen. The scenes around this saddling enclosure at Ayr have never seen anything quite like this, and here comes Steve. Congratulations.
Nothing I get from this guy. Hello.
Live on there.
Yeah.
Do you want to turn around here? There we go.
I'm on the
That's
wrong
it.
way, right.
I thought the cap fitted you very well indeed.
Yeah, it's a little tight, you know. But good.
Smashing. I mean, the race went according to plan. No problems at all. It looked very easy.
Yeah, you know, he jumped out. The two pacemakers were up there. The jumper of and the pacemaker of Mr. Britain's were going, nice, good, even pace. I was quite happy. He was very lazy, you know. He was nice and relaxed. He was, so I was sort of always hoping that when I picked him up, he was going to find what I thought he would. But you know, I had to I was kidding myself most of the way around. And when I got down the bottom bend, you know, I just sort of picked him up a little bit, and he came on the bridle, you know, and picked up very well.
Here you are coming out the
He
two
loves the
marker.
ground, and he's an improving horse, and you know, he's done it very well today.
Kieran Fallon, who finished second, said he thought he had every chance, but when he saw you press the button, you found the other gear.
Yeah, well, that's what this horse says. He's got a gear, which is you know, what good horses have. You know, he can quicken up, and he loves the ground. He's, as we said, he's improving his form. You know, at Newmarket with Asatis and Carroll House has worked out very, very well. You know, I should think Carroll House will run very well in the Arc. You know, and I think, you know, this horse has done it well. He'll be a nice horse next year.
I mean, he's only run 4 times. He's still basically a big baby.
That's right.
How do you rate him?
Well, I rate him as a very nice horse who's improving, who I think will be a very nice horse next year.
And just final question, you've won the St. Ledger at Doncaster, now you've won it at Ayr. How did it feel from a jockey's point of view, winning the world's oldest classic here at a new venue?
Well, I've ridden a lot of times at Ayr. I think Ayr's a very good course. It's a very fair course. Whenever the ground gets cut up and you're running the big race on the last day, it's always a little bit difficult. I mean, there's not really any good ground out there. But luckily, my horse likes cutting the ground, so it suited me okay. But as far as the place, the Scottish crowd's fantastic. You know, they enjoy racing. You know, and it's good to be here.
It's good to be here. Congratulations, Steve Cauthen.
Thank you.
Well done. Steve Cauthen, as popular as ever, and the biggest cheer here. We're going to take a short break, but get pencil and paper at the ready, because we're going to give you a chance to come with us to Paris, and that's coming up right after the break.
Now then, it's time for our Chiga Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe weekend competition. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you 2 sets of words, each of which is an anagram for the name of a well-known French-trained horse from the last 10 years. Here they are. First of all, Polo Minter, P-O-L-O, Polo Minter. And secondly, Perch Lost in Deep. 4 words there, Perch Lost in Deep. Well, we want you to put your solution to that query, the 2 names of 2 well-known French-trained horses, on a postcard and send it to this address. The Chiga Channel 4 competition, Post Office Box 42, Newmarket, Suffolk, CB8 8HL. Now, we'll be drawing the lucky winning combination on October the 4th at Sandown, and that's only 3 days before the lucky pair will be setting sail for Paris. So would you please, if you have a telephone, put your telephone number as well as your address on the postcard. The prize, I promise you, is worth stretching your brains for. It includes flights to Paris, of course, for 2, a fortnight today, then transfers to the very luxurious Hotel Meurice, and at that hotel you'll have 2 dinners, bed and breakfast, of course, and transport to Longchamp, to the racecourse at Longchamp, and 2 delicious lunches, quite apart from the racing, at the track. And if you've recovered from all that, the flight home as well. I really think it is a prize worth trying for, worth stretching your mind, you might say. So here are the words again: Polo Minter, and Perch Lost in Deep. And the names, of course, aren't necessarily the same number of words, but they are the same number of letters. Each of them is an anagram for a well-known French-trained horse. And here again is the address. Chiga Channel 4 competition, Post Office Box 42, Newmarket, Suffolk, CB8 8HL. The very best of luck. I hope we see you at Longchamp.
Die won by 12 lengths in 1954, and other winners by 10 lengths were Provoke and Talma, and the great Alcide won by 8 lengths in 1958. But you get few easier St. Ledger winners than that, and the bookmakers really were hit for great big huge bets going around the ring, and the public joined in. You remember yesterday, even the Minister of Sport, Colin Moynihan, he managed to suss out the winner, Michelozzo. Everyone seemed to know that the horse would win, and the official time for the race actually was 3 minutes 20.72. 3 minutes 20.72. The betting here very early, wide open, is 8-1 against Charming Molly and Mystery Music, 9-1 against Positive Attitude, and then it's 11-1 against Eradicate. But I just have to say one word for the Scottish crowd here. They're a tremendous crowd. We've had great fun here. Unfortunately, just 1 or 2, that is all. Otherwise, I'm having a super time here.
For the place, also racing fast is Carroll House, only young mother, and on the